Stephen Thomas.
You're listening to The Funny Thing Is with Brighton and Annika.
The show that starts with a question, ends with a song, and has a heck of a lot of conversation in between. Hey guys, you're listening to The Funny Thing Is with Brighton and Annika, and before we begin today's episode, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Local Laundry. We love wearing Local Laundry's apparel. They make some of the comfiest gear around to help you represent your community, from their crew neck sweaters, hoodies, t-shirts, and snapback hats. I've worn one. Doesn't look great on me, but I bought one anyway. You can check them out online at www.locallaundry.ca or on Instagram at Local Laundry. Use the discount code FUNNY15 for a 15% discount on their whole store.
Nice.
Thank you.
That was very well read.
Do you have a question for us today, Brighton? Are we going to get right into it?
Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Question is, when you are in not a good mood, how do you remove yourself? Or what do you do to remove yourself from that not so good mood?
Well, usually if it's a person that's making me in a bad mood, I leave them.
You remove that person?
Yeah, I get quite irritated with, not irritated, I get very short with my parents. And one of the things that I find is I spend a lot of time at my parents' house. I work alongside them, like I share an office with my dad, and there's just a lot of questions a lot of the time. And it's one of those things where you know you don't want to be annoyed. Like I can feel myself. Do you ever have it where you're like, I feel myself being ridiculous, or that I know I'm reacting too strongly to something?
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally will have to take a break. And there's something about being in your childhood home. It's like I could be in the basement and I'll still be annoyed, even if my dad's upstairs, because it's like, there's something about it that I always go out and I grab a coffee. And for me, I always pair getting a coffee with doing something I don't like. So those are like two things. I'm usually in a bad mood if I have to do something I don't want to do, or now my parents are lovely and I love them. But it's just like, if I'm in a space with someone too long, most people like go for a walk or like, I don't know, listen to music. For me, I love going to a cafe and ordering a coffee, because there's something about that simple act that makes it like very relaxing to me. So like today I was working on taxes, so my dad kept being like, well, why don't you just do it here? Because then I can help you with it and all this stuff. And I knew that I would literally get more done and be more productive and be in a better mood if I was at Second Cup having a maple latte and just working on taxes.
There you go. So coffee.
Yeah, but it can't be like, my parents have a really nice espresso machine, and
so
I can't.
Coffee shop.
It's like there's something about a coffee shop vibe that just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
What about you?
I have started meditating over the last little while, and it's not something that I think like,
I'm going to go meditate now.
Yeah. I don't really like do it to remove myself from a bad mood, but I find if I do it at the beginning of the day, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And I think a lot of what we get upset about or what we get hung up on is just thoughts and meanings that we give things in our heads. And I think with meditation, you're supposed to like let thoughts come and go. And it's like
I never get that.
It's like
a train going by.
It's like shavasana in yoga. You know what I mean? Like after you go through the whole whatever practice, I think they call it, and then you just lay down there and you're just supposed to let everything go and not think about anything. Like I think that's what
it's really hard.
I believe it. Same here. It's transcendental meditation, I think they call it, is when they found that it's another state that if you meditate, they found like a third state. There's like sleeping or dreaming and then awake, but they found this other state that is transcendental, that you're not asleep, you are awake, but you're not thinking.
See, I've never gotten there.
Me
that
neither.
Must be what monks get to, because they do it for so long.
And I think for me, the biggest thing, like I think my emotional brain takes over like more often than not. You know that about me. And I think I need to just kind of like let that go sometimes, and also let the logical part of my brain kind of step in and just like balance those two things out. And that's what I find happens all the time when I meditate in the morning, like I'm able to make decisions easier. I don't get as worked up about certain things, and
Right.
I can actually tell
On a day that you
on a
meditate.
day that I meditate and I don't.
Well, what's funny is I'm the opposite of you. You like to you stay silent to get focused, and for me, I am definitely a venter. Like I feel physically, it's like I need to let things out when I'm upset about them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I remember as a kid. I was saying something to someone. I was so frustrated that I was talking to this girl about something else, and I was like, I feel terrible because I'm gossiping. And she was like, it's a very different thing to gossip and to vent. And I feel like it's impossible for people to not talk about other people when we all annoy each other sometimes. And so I'm definitely a venter, and the people that are close to me know. I mean, I'll call you being like, I know I'm being ridiculous, but I need to get this off my chest because this is what I'm feeling
All
about this person.
The time.
Yeah, but like, that my every inner thought, and I definitely cool down after
I think we've both gotten better though at like, and I don't know if I am giving too much credit to like the principles, the book
right
going through like that personal principles thing. I think it very much helped me identify like how I think and how I act and why I do the things I do and how like I can better that. And I think we've both really gotten a lot more self-aware of how we think and how we act, and like just acknowledging that this is how we're viewing the situation and understanding that there's like another side to that.
Isn't it funny though how sometimes I think like you always think your own behavior is completely logical, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you see someone else behave the way that you have and you're like, that person's crazy. Like I've definitely done that. Like anytime a woman, like, I shouldn't say that. I don't mean that. I mean like sometimes I'll see a woman say something or stand up for something and I'll be like, she was very aggressive. And I'm like, that is me. Like I'm sure I'm very aggressive to people.
And I think,
the best thing was I had an interaction with a woman who was like so chatty and so talkative just as soon as I had met her. And I remember being like so exhausted. And I said to my friend like, oh, that was a lot in like 5 minutes. And my friend was like, are you kidding me? That's exactly who you are. Like, that is you. And I was like, do I really? And I was exhausted after that 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I have people in my life that I love, but are exhausting to be around. And I'm like, I think I'm that person to some people. Not to everyone, obviously, but like, it is funny how your behavior always seems
logical,
perfectly logical. And that you're like, in my mind, I'm like the perfect amount of energy and the perfect amount of chattiness. And like, that's just how we think.
Yeah. That's what I also love about that book is like, it talked about like removing yourself from that, first person thinking and go like, how can you better everybody?
See, that's so hard.
And it is because you get so much into the thick of it, and it's just in our nature to be selfish creatures because it's the whole survival whatever, but it's
I think though
crazy.
that is why we are a good team and why we are friends, is because if there were two of me
or two of me, like it's very true. It's cool how I feel like we've just, after 3 years of working together, I think especially in the last year, like we've just gotten into a rhythm.
Yes, we have a groove for sure
of how we work and how things get done. And I think we found like our unique abilities, and we don't have, there's not as much friction anymore.
Right.
And I think we've gone through like a lot of bumps and figured things out over the last year that it's like, we know how.
Well, also just like when you think of people that are like husbands and wives, or like people that know each other so well that it's like, I know this person's going to react this way. So how do I handle that? Whereas I feel like even in a business relationship, especially in the arts, like it's so much of it is your personal feelings about so many
ego
things.
Too.
Like,
not that we're like egotistical people, but at the same time, it's like, there are songs that, I want to be released that they just may never be released, but it was because like I wrote on it and it's my baby.
Yes.
But probably you have another song in the bank that's like so much better than the one that we wrote, but it's like, well, the song that we recorded, right?
That takes like, I'm just thinking, isn't it funny how often we think that we're right? Like you almost, I almost always think I'm right.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing though, when you realize, oh, that person, like
It's just
when
a
you
different
think about
perspective.
something
yeah.
though, sometimes for a while, it sounds like you're not always right all the time, Annika. But I mean, I think I've always been scared of working with other people because I don't think I work well with other people. Or it's very hard because I have very high expectations of people. Or I just basically, as humans, we assume everyone else is going to operate in the same way that we do. And so like, well, of course they would react this way. And when they don't, my dad is a self-employed person who could never work for anyone else. And I always was like, I'm a team player when I have to be, like in school I was.
Yeah.
But I think it takes a very special person. Like I recognize it takes a very special person to deal with me. And I think it's one of those things where with all that, I don't want to say hassle, but like great thing. Like I think that's why a lot of artists are crazy people.
Yeah.
Because it's like people that have these kind of out of the box things about them or whatever.
Yeah. It's just, it's like, I think it's almost with like any savant though.
Are you saying I'm a savant?
Yeah, I am. But
No.
but honestly, like if you think of some of the best artists in the world, like Harry Connick Jr. has an IQ of whatever. And
Oh,
is
really?
Like he's
That
a
just made me
Mensa,
more attracted to him.
He's a Mensa member.
Oh, he's so handsome.
But I'm sure he has like personal quirks that.
Okay,
like,
side note though on Harry Connick Jr.
Okay.
His character in Will and Grace.
I never
Leo?
watched Will and Grace.
Oh, he is a nice man.
Okay,
He's
that's good.
Yeah,
He's
Whoa.
got the full package for sure. It seems.
Yeah, he's pretty great. Okay, anyway, but yeah, he's really smart or like.
Yeah, I don't know.
something
I don't know
else
where
other
we're
than
going
being
with
handsome.
this. But
We were talking about good moods and bad moods and what gets you in them and what gets you out of them.
yeah, and then we got onto.
You know
the
what I
tangent.
don't understand? This is a great thing. Or not that I don't understand, but like people are like, when I get upset, they always choose something like really healthy. They're like, I go for a run. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
when I'm upset, I'm watching TV. Like the last thing I want to do is go on a run.
Yeah,
Or it's
that's
like-
Kim. She's like, she feels so much better after she goes for a run. I was like, I feel so much worse after I go for a run.
Oh, it's
I-
like, or
it's-
honestly, it's like, okay, there's something to me about I'm going to go for a run because I know I'll feel better after, but I'm not going to pretend being like, I just need some space. I'm going to go for a run.
Yeah.
That to me is like a fake thing that like only like celebrities do.
I know there are times where I've gone like on a bike ride through like Fish Creek in
Yeah.
Calgary, and it's just like it's not.
I mean, fresh air does do something to you.
Yeah, and I think especially just the way our society works is we're always working inside. We're working in offices 90% of the time, or home office or whatever, or you're in a car.
Yeah.
Like getting out and like even just going for a walk. Or
Yeah, but like it's just funny when I see some people where it's like, how do you deal with stress? Like I go for a run or like I volunteer. It's like, guys, is anyone just like sitting by the couch, like eating
Cheetos.
chips and salsa and like drinking wine and it's been like 4 hours of Netflix? Like that relieves stress, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I call a friend. I don't call it's like I call someone I haven't talked to in a long time, or like, I bake. What? Those are fake things. I feel like no.
Again, I feel like it's
When you're stressed, come on.
to each their
Or
own.
even you're like,
to each their
I
own.
meditate, or like I drink a glass of water. That's the worst. I hate that as a suggestion to anything where the people are like, everyone's suggestion to everything is like get some sleep, which I definitely am like, yep, I need a nap. That's exactly what I need. But then it's like, or drink a glass of water. Drink lots of water. You feel sick? You feel are you drinking water? Like, firstly, no, I'm not drinking water because I hate drinking water.
Well, you should drink water.
Well,
it's good for you.
it's
You
just
need,
I feel like it's
3
not as
liters a
important as
day.
everyone makes it.
It
Though
is.
they think
That
like,
you're made up of what 78% water.
yeah, but I feel like in
don't
every
know.
magazine I read now, all the solutions to all of life's problems is just like, make sure you're drinking enough water. I'm like, no. Or like all these water bottles, it's like it keeps at the right temperature, or it reminds you when you need to drink. I'm like, I have enough alarms and things making me. I don't need a water bottle telling me to drink water. Honestly, I hate that though when you ask someone like, oh, do you want to just like have a night in, like veg out, and they're like, yeah, like I have a great workout video, or like, yeah, let's do yoga. Yeah, let's like.
I have never had a response to, do you want to hang out and stay in?
Okay,
today?"
not stay on, but if you're like, you want to hang on, be like, let's go to a bar class. Like that is a week of activity for me.
Yeah. Well, it's not for other people.
Like, think about it. When we hang out, I spend a lot of time like laying on the floor. Like, I literally don't even like to stand up that often.
No, you never help. You just lay on the floor.
It's true.
I know it's true.
I know, but I mean, like, I think I'm just.
To rebuttal to that, though, I find that. Sorry, there's a hair here. I find that if I look back and have like accomplished the 3 things that I want to accomplish for that day, again, it's like to me, not. It's just like I guess it's more. It's not getting out of a good mood. It's like preventing a not good mood.
See, but people tick me off, and I can't avoid people that long. Like, honestly, it's
a question.
It's like little things, and people. Like, if someone budges me in a line, it will.
Yeah,
it
you'll
will
blow a gasket.
ruin my day.
Well, you can't let that happen.
Well, then people need to stop budging me.
No, you can't. You cannot blame one person budging you.
Blame it on the neon.
You can't do that.
No, not that. But I'm saying, like, I don't get annoyed if I don't accomplish things in the day. It's like people, like strangers, annoy me.
I think we're talking about 2 different things.
Okay,
like,
sorry.
Like a not a good mood, and people annoying you. But that's
annoying
the difference
is between you and me. Like, I can't just let it roll off my back. It will irritate me for a long time.
Like which things? Like I think it's the size of the things that irritate you that I go like how does that
annoy you
irritate
for so
you?
long?
Yeah.
I think it is like, but it works in the other way. Like if I'm walking down the street and I pass someone on the sidewalk and they like maybe smirk at me, it's like, oh, I skip down the street because it's like, this is so lovely. Like small human interactions, like if there's like a cash register that's just, I get that like maybe they're not having a good day, but someone that is just rude, or operations management really ticks me off when lines and queues aren't working correctly, or like when you show up at the bank and like as soon as you get there they close the teller and now you have to or when like oh, this is the worst, when you're at a grocery store or like in a retail store and they're like, I can take the next customer here, and instead of like me, who's the next person in line, the person at the back of my line goes there. And now I'm stuck behind the person with 50 groceries when they should have let me go. Like, that's the fair thing to do. Maybe it's fairness. I don't. And of course, my mom's like, life is unfair. Get used to it.
It's true.
Like, I'm getting worked up now just even talking about it.
I know you are. I can see the heart beating out of your chest right now.
Yes,
I
thank you.
That's what I just don't understand.
But that's why we're a good team, Brighton.
I know. I just find it very hard to like.
I think it's a man thing too, to be honest. Like I think me as actually I shouldn't say that because I know very chill women. Yeah. I am not a chill person.
That is true.
I'm a very intense person.
Yes, and your fiance is the exact same way. So
well, the funny thing though is Spencer said to me, he was like, you know, when we first started dating, you were a lot more chill, and I was like, oh,
that's what Spencer said to you?
He said that to me because I was. You should have seen me. It was like, he'd be like, oh, I need to stop here. I need to stop there. I need to like just quickly go into Costco, which I would never let happen now. I mean, we literally got into a fight about it last weekend because I was so irritated that between 2 activities, he made us go to Costco. But anyway, my thing is like, I can be chill if I'm like trying to make someone fall in love with me. But other than that, I'm just myself.
Okay, now here's my question.
Okay.
How often do I irritate you?
You're
and what
very,
is it?
very, what's the word? Unirritable? No. You hardly ever irritate me because you're very chill.
Yeah. So then why don't you just chill?
No, like that's our balance though.
I know.
No, but I get much more irritated with strangers than I do like my good friends.
Right.
And it's hard, I think, like family members are hard for me because I love my family so much that I spend so much time with my family that I get annoyed easier.
Right.
And I think like it's when the more time you spend, I mean, that's the thing is we spend a lot of time together, but I think it's different when you're not related because, and also though I have family members that do things just to get under my skin because they think it's funny.
Yeah.
Even Spencer does that.
Funny.
He like loves.
That's called love.
Pushing my buttons, and I'm
love.
like, stop it.
It's called love. It's a saying in our family. It's like if we're not making fun of you, we don't like you.
Right. That's true.
That's.
Then I'm
us.
very loved by a lot of people.
Yeah.
No, I think I do need. I mean, what grinds my gears is that's an episode. I mean, what grinds my gears is a subject topic on the LT show because I'm constantly coming up with things that annoy me and just writing them down and knowing that there will be a Leaving Thomas show made about it is helpful to me.
Well,
but I'm trying to chill a bit. I need to chill.
It channels your need to vent and get it all out, and then it's out there, and then you feel better.
And I will say, I am a person too, though. Like when I'm on vacation, I truly am a person that enters vacation mode. Like I am not ever really stressed when.
Right.
And so like maybe that's the thing. It's just I feel like, especially as a self-employed person, there's a million things going on in my head all at once.
Absolutely.
And I feel like even if I'm at home, quote, chilling,
there's
everything can
work spinning
always,
around in your head.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. And I find it hard. And I was talking with somebody about it today. It's like, and what's crazy with them is they're business partners and they're married. And it's both like relatively recent.
Yes. Okay.
And so they were talking about how they now got an office because
it was just too much everything at home.
They can just leave it at work, right? They can leave work at work. They can leave work at the office. When they leave and they go home, it's like home time.
Yeah, and that's why like vacation, I'm full on like
Yeah.
I'm not looking at emails. I'm not.
Yeah, and it's hard when it's like we're running a podcast out of the house
know,
and we're focusing and
What's
doing
gonna happen when
design
we're
work.
living together in Nashville?
Oh my
We're gonna
god,
be spending so much time
we
together.
may have to get a divorce. Or
21 minutes already. They're gonna be like, no, my podcast only says 18 because you edited a bunch of stuff out.
but I don't think we will.
Ignore that. Well, look at the time again. I think these podcasts might get longer and longer. Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun, Brighton.
I am too. It's really nice just to like chat. When did we like really chat?
I know. We need to hang out more. Let's do song of the day. What's your song for the people?
The song for the people. I would say What They Mean by Donovan Woods.
Oh, great singer-songwriter choice. I'm going to piggyback on the Donovan Woods.
Okay.
And we're going to really give this artist some promotion because he needs it from us. He's not remotely successful. Just kidding. He's the best. His song Hotel is still my favorite. Donovan Woods was like one of the greatest writers. You're going to see him live when he's here.
Yeah.
I will not be attending. I'm not a big live concert fan, as we've mentioned.
And I think it's at like a bar where you would have to stand.
And think about, though, how much I love Donovan Woods, and I still won't go see him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have loved our time chatting with you. Let us know if you have questions you want us to answer because I think we're going to do this for a while, even if it's just the two of us listening.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.